who, as we're hearing, was spending the evening with Whitney and having a nice time, and all of a sudden, boom, something triggered. And now, I think people, I don't know, I think people are sort of, didn't get what the fight itself was. Take us through it. You're starting to tell me that.
Okay, you know, a friend of mine today said, you know, Stacey, the truth will set you free, you know, and I, in essence, what I said on Access Hollywood yesterday was true. It was true. I was having a great time with her, and I did respect her, and that's why things did not get out of hand. Had it been, and Nikki knows
that's the part I don't like to hear you say. I got to be honest with
what?
you. That you would escalate. That's what I think people get defensive about.
What?
It's like that you would escalate something with Whitney Houston. I don't think you would. I don't believe that.
No, that's my point. That's exactly my point that I'm making. That it wouldn't. No. That's my point exactly. Okay. It would never go there with Whitney Houston because she's Whitney Houston,
and not only that, but not only that, you had a nice evening with her. She's a friend who you had a flare.
This is my point to you, Dr. Drew, and I'm going to be real direct, and
Please.
a lot of people are not going to hear me say what I'm saying. I am from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
I'm from the hood, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, let's really kick it like it is, all right? And people are going to be angry. Her fans are going to be angry for me to saying this, but I'm from the hood. Like, any regular person, me standing in the club and her calling me the B word and pushing my head away, putting her face, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fight. My point is, I love Whitney just like her fans love her. My point is, it doesn't matter where I'm from. It doesn't matter if she pushed me. It doesn't matter if she called me a bitch. None of that matters. I love you too much to go down this road with you. I don't care what you do to me. You understand? That was my point.
And then you also, I think, Stacey, in your defense, weren't aware of where she was mentally, which is a great thing for Dr. Drew to explain to you.
What I want to straight out for you, because when people are using and when they have the addictive disorder, and again, she was treated. The guys who want to aim at me now, Whoopi, have at it. is she was treated 3 times for addiction, and you don't get treated 3 times for addiction and not have addiction. It's just impossible. So she has addiction, and people with addiction, when they use, they are not they're not themselves at all. The person that you were fighting with, not Whitney Houston.
I know that.
You were fighting with the addict.
That's why I wasn't fighting with her. That's why when someone says, oh, you had a fight with her, I say, no, I did not. It was not an altercation. It was not a fight. It was a misunderstanding.
Was there fisticuffs?
No, there wasn't. She took her hand and she moved my face away.
From Ray J? Was this now about Ray J?
I was looking at her. She was having a conversation. She was upset about whatever she was upset about. She moved my face away. I grabbed her hand and I said, I love you too much. I'm not going to have any fight with you here. This is not going to happen.
What'd she say?
She was like, well, you know, what? I owe you an apology? Do I owe you an apology? I mean, there was a lot of conversation going back and forth.
Did people come in and help?
There was a lot of people.
She apologized. There were people that she apologized,
and I, of course, accepted her apology. It was, like I said, it was a misunderstanding. But the reason that I keep speaking out, because everybody's going, okay, Stacey, just be quiet. She's not laid to rest yet. And I agree, because I really feel sad for Bobby Christina. Because let's look at Bobby Christina as an 18-year-old girl who's lost her mom.
Absolutely.
Let's not talk about the fact that she's Whitney Houston. She's an 18-year-old girl who's lost her mom.
Stacey?
Like, that alone is very sad.
Are your parents alive?
My dad passed away, unfortunately, when I was on the X Factor, and my mom is alive.
And any addiction in your family anywhere?
None.
You don't
I
have to tell
don't know
me,
anything about it. I don't know anything about it. That's why I'm talking to you, because and Nikki really is the one, and she could tell you, she really persuaded me to come here today, because I was like, I can't talk, I can't speak, I can't say another word, because everyone is attacking me, and I feel like everybody's looking for a hangman. Everybody's looking for someone to hang out to dry, and it's not fair. We all knew what was going on. I think people are passionate, and maybe this is the reason that you're getting attacked, is because she is not even in the grave yet, and everybody's like, oh, well, was she on drugs? I mean, didn't we know what was going on?
Yeah, we just had a journalist in here who had basically written an obituary. I mean, not specifically, but she said she'd written a story with the end in mind, knowing that things were as bad as they were.
And that's sad, and I think that the problem is nobody wants to say what we're saying. Nobody wants to address it right now.
The other part of it is Stacey, you have to understand, because you're in this industry, and you had the stress of X Factor. And speaking of X Factor, one of the things that was amazing, and I have to say this, shout out to Simon Cowell, because he did say to Chris Renee, if you don't keep it together, you will not last in this show. If you revert back to your old habits, it will not happen.
He held him accountable.
And Whitney Houston was just unaware, obviously, of
But guys, this is something here's what I've been preaching about on this show, is that you have to understand that pills are addictive, that even though you're doing it the way the doctor told you, you can't do that and stay sober. It never happens. I've just never seen it. You have to be abstinent. You have a chronic condition. You have to work on it on a daily basis. Or things happen that are absolutely, you know, obviously they say you end up jail, insanity, or dead. That's where this goes. And along the way, you do things that aren't you.
Yeah. So
and this was her
my
being
question is how do we help? How do we turn this around?
Conversations, and I think we are. You know, and I think people are probably legitimate to say that it's a little premature. You know, but when are we going to have these conversations? Now we're going to have it when no one's talking about this.
It's very, very sad because it's true. It's very sad. We had, unfortunately, we lost Heath Ledger, Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe.
I got a list. And some of my friends are on this damn list. It kills me.
Emotional people.
Yes.
And in order for us to relate, to people to relate to what we do for a living, whether you're an actor, or singer, whatever the case may be, you have to be in touch with those emotions. So, Dr. Drew, somebody needs to be there to protect those emotions, so you don't feel like you have to take drugs or you have to do this stuff in order to get through.
But another thing about it, another thing is that, you know, for me, for example, I sing from my brokenness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I sing from my experience. I sing when someone says...
So did Whitney, probably, right?
That's my point. That's my point.
Michael,
when you look at Michael Jackson was broken. He didn't have a childhood. He always talked about that. But when he walked on that stage, there was this magic about him, and there was the way that he delivered himself that you felt moved. He might not have had that ability and that magic had he not been through his
and the problem
background.
Is he can't come down from that. That's the problem.
Right.
Artists can't come down from that.
That brokenness, when someone says, "Oh my goodness, I got goosebumps when you sing," it's because of my divorce. It's because of my being a single mom. It's, you know what I mean?
Sounds like something
but my addiction.
Of some of that fighting the one out in Brooklyn.
Hey, listen, I'm not a fighter. You know, I'm 42 years old with two kids.
Yeah, what she's saying is that was the average girl in a club.
My point was the average situation may have turned out differently.
You guys are right. However, I absolutely agree with you. However, when addiction happens, which artists are a little higher incidence than the average person, I actually studied this myself. You have to have a very aggressive response, and they have. And when you, Nikki,
you can't force someone to do
something they don't want to do. You can. Ultimately, you can, but you can exert a lot of leverage. And that's what you were talking about last time. That's
exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, sir, for that. That's exactly what it is.
But when the leverage is empty and impotent, then and no one is really applying it, and there isn't a
because
firm.
It's respect, Dr. Drew, too. You know, it's respect for this person. You know, Whitney Houston.
Yeah, but the respect is. I got 20 seconds, and I'm going to keep you guys around, so we'll keep talking. But the respect is respect enough to confront them aggressively to save their damn lives.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it really is, and that's the part that people miss when they think that they evoke something like you had. Yes, thank you for the standing ovation.
There's yours.
But when you evoke something like what you had, you know what I'm saying, from her, then you think, oh, I must be on the wrong. No, you're in the right. You got.